So you may start.
Thank you. Okay, first of all, I must congratulate all the presenters who have made this excellent presentations here today in the morning. And today I am going to present from the Assam side the Jal Jeevan Mission and the activities and the initiatives which we have taken here. I am Commissioner Secretary, PhD Department, and also the Mission Director for this mission here in Assam. I must also welcome and my regards to the jurist member, Madam Shah and Mr. Sur, who are having their excellent observations here today. All of you are aware that Jal Jeevan Mission is an important flagship program of Government of India and our Honorable Prime Minister, which was launched on 15th of August 2019, with the aim to provide safe and drinking piped water supply, water of at least 55 liters per capita per day with the quality parameters. It's a very important mission. It's a milestone in public health engineering sector. And in Assam, let me first tell you that I'll give an analogy. When we play a cricket match, and sometimes we feel that pitch is very good, it will be very good for the batsman. But somehow when we play and then we realize there is a hidden quest or a hidden element in the pitch, and it is not so easy to play. This is what the situation here in Assam is, because from outside it appears that there's a lot of water availability, water surplus state. However, there are challenges because of this, which I'm going to discuss it in my presentation. I request to move for the next slide, because I think the control is there. Okay. So before I talk about this mission, what were the challenges faced here in Assam in the rural water supply sector? I'd like to briefly mention on those. First of all, when this mission was launched, the FSTC, which expands to fully functional household tap connection, the coverage was 1.76%, which was among the lowest in the country at that time. Please remember, when we say FSTC, it refers to water supply through piped water supply scheme. No other system is accepted here. So even though we had water availability, but it was not covered under FSTC or through piped water supply, and we were very low. Primarily, the reason was historically the water was very abundant here, and therefore the other systems of having drinking water, be pond or hand pumps or any other mechanism, open well, they were very prevalent. So people were not so much aware of getting water through piped water supply. So the demand of getting that piped water supply was not there much. That is also one of the challenge. If you go to the Rajasthan, Gujarat, or any other western part of the country who are little dry or arid, you will understand the importance of water, because their demand is much higher than what we have here in Assam. And this is a very crucial step or a crucial factor here in Assam. And we face, because we have to involve community, and because of this apathy or this little unawareness, I'll say, we have to, we were in these parameters, we are not doing so well at that time. Also, there's a lot of water contamination, arsenic. There were 8 districts, and also iron is mostly prevalent, iron contamination throughout the state, and we are taking care of this through our filter system. Also in Assam, there's a abundance of groundwater, even though we have a mighty Brahmaputra and so many tributaries, but the settlement are such that in majority of the schemes, there is already available groundwater, and therefore we have to go for individual schemes which are very small for a village. Where water source is little scarce, the mega villages or surface waters, there we can go for a multi-village schemes, which can be commissioned in a go, and we can achieve the success rate or the completion rate in a short span of time. But when we have to do individual schemes for every settlement, every habitation, the number goes up, and therefore our task also increases. But still, economy-wise, it is better. And the last point, as I have mentioned, there was low community involvement. We are working on it, which I'll show subsequently in my next slide. Okay. So as I have already mentioned, the Jal Jeevan Mission is aimed to provide at least 55 liter per capita per day for consumption, and with the quality of quality parameter mentioned. And these are the 7 to 8 areas where we are focusing on with provision of PWSS to our community. Water quality testing is another area which is very crucial, because we have to know what sort of contamination is there, whether bacterial or chemical, and then subsequently corrective measures have to be taken. We are working on this also, which I'll be subsequently mentioning. And also to provide this, we are engaging community. We are also doing IEC and HRD, use of technology, and subsequently grey water management. Next. I'm sorry, I have to say next because the control is not there with me. It is only there in the this thing. So no. Yes. Yes, I think this is the slide. Okay. So if I see the situation in JJM, let me tell you, the JJM presentation today here is not a success story as such till date. However, why I'm going to present it here is what is the reason of presenting about JJM here is what promises we are going to have, what opportunities we have now, and how we are going to achieve it, and how we have started achieving it. That is what the presentation is all about today. So if you see that on 15th of August, when the mission was launched, we were having a 1.76% of coverage, which was among the lowest in the country, because at that time, the country's average was around 31%. So we started with a very, very low base at that time. And by the end of March 20, when all the preparatory works were done and hardly any work would be started, we achieved a very modest increase, and we climbed up to 2.52, and we were like 30. In next year, 31st March 2021, we know that at that time, COVID pandemic, it hit us, and we were severely affected. Nothing could be done. And subsequently, elections were there in Assam, and throughout the year, we were hit hard, and we couldn't do much of activities during that time. Therefore, we also had a very, very insignificant, I'll say insignificant increase, and we reached to from 2.5 to 10.5, almost 8% for a total year. We slightly improved, but subsequently, when the new government came this year, and from May onwards, this is what we have done. Now there's an atmosphere, there's a charge of atmosphere, and we are really committed to increase our FSTC coverage. And we have now moved up in a span of, if I say, because there was a model code of conduct till the month of mid of May. So June, July, August, September, in 4 months, we have climbed up to today. This relates to 24th September, but had my presentation been loaded, I would have shown the picture as on today. Today it stands up to 21.52%, and our rank is 27th. So from last to 27th among 33 states, we feel that in last 4 to 5 months we have achieved significantly, and this momentum is what we are I'm going to pitch in for this video conference today. At the end of this financial year, we aim to achieve around 46% of FSTC coverage targeted, but I'm hopeful we'll be trying to cross that also, and we'll be moving somewhere around 25th to 26th state in the entire country. Next.
Sir, I got a very small question. What do you mean by this state? Just go to the back slide.
FSTC?
No, it is state rank 25, 28. What does it mean?
Can we go to the slide?
Please go to the last slide. Yes.
Yeah, state rank. Okay, the state rank is among all the 33 number of states and union territories.
Assam's rank is in 2021 is 28, isn't it?
As on today, it was on 24th September. That's what I told. Had I been able to show my actual updated presentation today, because of some technical issue, I am not, which I gave it.
Okay, earlier. Roughly
today it is 27th. Today it is 27th.
Okay.
And coverage is 21.52% FSTC coverage. And 31st March 2022, if we go by this pace, this is our projection.
Okay, thank you.
You can see the increase. You can see the from 1.1 to 1.6% to 6.6 lakhs. These are the numbers, absolute numbers, which you have provided so far.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Next.
Please continue.
So now I would like to present about the percentage increase, the momentum which we have created and how it has resulted in the results as I've shown. So if you see in the month of May, Assam was somewhere around 19th positions among all the states mentioned here in terms of daily provision of FSTC. We call it daily provision of FSTC or run rate or FSTC rate, whatever we can say. We were around 19th. In last 4 months, we have jumped up to 4th number of position in all over the country. And please mind it, these are the numbers in these numbers are absolute, meaning Assam is not a very big state, well, not very small state also. It is somewhere in between. So for a state which is very high in either in population, the numbers of target will be also very, very high. Even though their percentage increase may not be very high, their absolute numbers may be very high. So this position from 19th to 5th is in absolute numbers, and I have done one calculation. If I convert it into the percentage of rate of providing FSTCs for once this regime from this financial year, will be among top, because in last 4 months or this financial year we were standing somewhere around 10.52%, and today we are 21.52%. So somewhere around 11% increase we have done in the last 6 months, considering that we could start our work only in the month of June because we had undergone elections and there was MCC. So June, July, August, September, if I take effective period of 4 months, we have achieved 11%, which is considerably high if you take in percentage number. It may be, I'm sure, I'm quite sure we'll be at the top if you see from this angle. Next. So this is a comparison of month-wise what were our daily average of provision of FSTC tap connections daily. So if you see in May, we were at standing somewhere around 1337, a very modest number. Then we took various steps. We involved communities. We institutionalized our operations, our institutions, strengthened them. We had several consultations with the field officers, involvement of deputy commissioners. We started showing signs of improvement. In June, we could make 2300 approximately. In July, there was a good progress for all of us, 4500. And in the month of August, we achieved more than 6500 per day. In the month of September, till date, we are somewhere close to around 5800, 5900. And you can see from 1300 to somewhere around 6000, it requires a lot of effort. And this is what we are harping upon. We'll be achieving, we'll be in fact overshooting our target for this year. If you see in the absolute numbers, in April, we could provide only 48,000 FSTCs. And in the month of August, more than 2 lakh connections we could provide. And I expect somewhere around 2 lakhs also will be providing in the month of September. Even though the number is around 1.95 or something lakhs, there is still one more day, and we are having one less day than in August this month. Otherwise, we would have crossed 2 lakhs this month also. So this is the story so far as increase in momentum for the and there's a charge up atmosphere for Jal Jeevan Mission here. People are talking about it. People are accepting it. There's a demand, and this is what is encouraging us. Next. Let me talk about the schools. Under this mission, we have to provide tap connections and fully functional water supply in schools as well. In June, out of 42,000 schools approximately in Assam, we could provide only 9,800, where the provision of safe and drinking water through piped water scheme was there. At the end of the September, it stands to somewhere around slightly more than 50%. And we hope that by the end of this financial year, we'll be completing and we'll be making them fully, 100% coverage under this scheme. If I see the last 2 points, that in Assam is very badly affected as far as arsenic and fluoride is concerned, we had taken short-term mitigation measures. However, we had a resurvey and we found that the iron contamination in the state of Assam is prevalent, very high, almost 70 to 80% iron contamination is there. Therefore, there's a provision, a standing provision of iron and iron filtration process in our schemes, and we'll be taking care of these quality affected area by provision of our filters. Also, to have filters to get water quality tested, the establishment of water testing laboratories is very, very crucial in the state of Assam. We have one state level laboratory and 23 numbers of laboratory are there, which are at the district level, and we are working on to provide them an accreditation from NABL. And till date, we have been able to get 5 district level laboratories. Also, one state level has recently got after 24th the accreditation we have got, and we are working for remaining 20, and we'll be doing it within a month of within 2 or 3 months. We'll be getting accreditation from them. So it will be kind of very reliable and very. We'll have a lot of confidence in testing and providing suitable measures if there are quality affected water supplies. Next. These are some of the innovations which we did, because moving so many things, with monitoring many things, starting from community involvement and then actual provision of work, the fund flows, the physical progress, all starting from different schemes, because the numbers of schemes is exponentially high. We have roped in the IT-based tools for project monitoring. We call it SMT for scheme monitoring tool. It is a very good system, and it has been in fact applauded by the Government of India and Jal Shakti Ministry also. And this is to provide and monitor and evaluate at each and every stage of this project implementation, be it DPR preparation, be it work order allotment, be it whether work started or not, be it tracking what is the percentage of work done, whether fund demand has come from the field, and whether we have allowed them to draw from our centralized account, PFMS account, and whether they have used it or not. All these things are tracked and monitored through the system, because if you know, the state of Assam as of now around 8 to 10,000 schemes are running, and monitoring of each of these schemes is very, very important, and therefore this is proving us to be a very, very important tool. Similarly, ISA performance evaluation tool is a tool where we track the involvement of ISA agencies, which we call as implementation support agencies, which are basically focused on community involvement, and the demand is generated by interacting with them and by telling them that this is the reason. We are providing pipe water supply for so and so reason. Next. So we have taken some decisions, and our Honorable Chief Minister has been very dynamic and very instrumental in bringing these changes, which were kind of innovations, and many states have discussed about it and have taken cues from us. We have increased the technical sanction power from the usual PWD rates from 3 crores to 5 crores, and subsequently others powers has been increased against the usual routine technical power of engineers from the PWD department. Also, earlier the things were little centralized. We have decentralized. We have taken a model where the district has been given the responsibility, and up to 10 crores schemes can be decided and approved and technically sanctioned at the district level. Only schemes which are bigger than that comes to us to cut and avoid any further delay. And also there has been committees formed at the district level under the chairmanship of Deputy Commissioner, who will look after all the matters as far as land availability are concerned, or any right of way issues are there. For example, there are utilities, roads, railways, electrical, these things. To sort it out, the Deputy Commissioner is fully empowered. He can allot any government land in favor of this scheme without sending it to the state headquarters. And this is a very, very milestone step, and Government of India has also accepted this as one of the best practices, and other states are also inquiring about this. Also, we are to provide tea gardens with this these schemes, especially because they were left out historically. And this is the mission where we are also fast tracking the provision of piped water supply under tea gardens for tea garden laborers and settlers. Next. So these are some of the community involvements where women also have been primarily focused, because they are the ones who have this this importance of water availability. Their role is of utmost importance. So we feel that their involvement will give us a robustness of this scheme. And at various level, our IC agencies and many foundations, they are doing meetings to involve them, to sensitize them about the use of piped water supply. Next. And this is one of the last slide. Presently, we stand very poor in terms of SDG goal, because goal number 6 of SDG talks about water supply and sanitation. Because of first two reasons, if you see, because index score we got was 7 and 0, because of low coverage of FSTC in Assam, because our base was low historically, and also improved source of drinking water, because we have identified iron as a contaminant in all across the state of Assam. We hope by the end of this year we'll be reaching around 46%, and subsequently we'll be eliminating the water contamination problem of iron, which we have identified, and we'll be going to somewhere around 83 at the end of this year. So by next year, when our ranking will be out, we hope that we'll be touching these milestones. So that's all from my side, and thank you very much for giving a lot of time and patiently hearing me. I'm really very thankful to all of you for giving this patient hearing. Thank you once again.
Well, very nice presentation. Well, though you started late, but in the last 4 months, you have done quite well. In fact, rather excellently well. Only one query, that you are trying to provide pipe water supply. Is it from surface water or groundwater or both?
So,
because Assam is full of rivers and lot of water available.
Predominantly, it is groundwater, because our settlements, the economy of scale can be achieved when, see, any surface water schemes requires a big investment, because you have to intake structures are there, then you have to transport to the filter side and the pumping side, and then but since there is availability of plenty of availability of groundwater, therefore predominantly they are groundwater schemes.
Actually, you are lucky that way. Everywhere else the water table goes down, and
yes,
you don't have that problem.
Yes,
fine.
Yes.
But then comes the problem. You are only identified iron as the contamination, but there could be others. Have you treated all? I mean, checked all that and coming to iron, or you are just because iron is predominantly bad influence. You have taken it, or you have actually tested the water quality to see what others are there, because a lot of traces of arsenic, fluoride. There also fluoride is there in West Bengal. You are nearby. So is it affecting your belt? Is there any belt which is affecting fluoride or arsenic?
Yeah, that's what I have mentioned in my presentation. Okay, we are also affected by arsenic. In fact, 8 hotspots were identified. It is there in my slide number. The very second slide, if you see, 8 districts identified as arsenic hotspots. And we have taken short-term mitigation measures as per the direction of NGT. However, once this, and there is presently no immediate threat as of now, arsenic and fluoride is we have already taken. And when the scheme will be finally rolled out, that will be of kind of permanent mitigation. However, iron as a contaminant is prevalent throughout the state. Iron doesn't have that much of health hazard as arsenic and fluoride poses for a short-term use. Therefore, we already have an inbuilt system of filtering the water. Whatever schemes will be there, we'll be finishing it off before 2024. And we expect it is inbuilt in the system of providing these schemes. This filtration process will be there. And
yeah, okay, got that. But those 8 or 7 identified districts.
We have provided till now short-term mitigation.
Yeah, understand. But there also you are having a full-fledged iron cleaning plants are there. So are you going to augment it with fluoride screening or arsenic screening, or you are going to set up a separate one?
No, it is already there. Wherever we are identifying, it is inbuilt in the system of filtering there. And to get where this arsenic and fluoride is there, the system of laboratories is very, very crucial, which we were almost non-existent. We have revived the laboratory and water testing system here in Assam. We have one state level laboratory which is NABL accredited now, and 5 district level, and we are in the process of getting other laboratories NABL accredited very soon. And they will be doing at least 2 chemical tests for every water schemes per year, and one chemical test and 2 biological contamination tests every year. And based on those, whatever systems we are installing for arsenic, chloride, and iron, it is already there. But if there is anything, we'll bring additional measures for them also.
Okay, good, very good.
Thank you.
Very good presentation you have made. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I've got a couple of questions. When you started your presentation, you quoted one figure that under Jal Jeevan Mission, the target is 55 liter per capita per day. Could I get the right figure?
Yes, 55 liters per capita per day.
So it should be a state figure.
It is not a state figure. It is a figure envisaged in the Jal Jeevan Mission. It is our assurance that every household, for every person, at least 55 liters per day will be made available with quality parameters.
So
Surendraji, I think long back it used to be 40 kiloliters.
Yes.
So now they have upgraded to 55.
Yes.
Probably that's what it is all about. Yeah.
okay. No, I just want to understand how soon Assam is going to achieve this figure.
See, today when I say, it's a very open-ended question. So let me be very frank on this. Today we stand around 21.52 FSTC, 21.52% of FSTC coverage as per our target. When we say 21.52 coverage is there, it is assumed that everyone where they are covered is getting 55 liters per day per capita. Now the question comes of corroboration, whether it is a claim. Now it has to be corroborated. Since we are very early and we are still working on, there's a scheme called as IoT based sensors we are planning to install at each and every scheme. Now these Internet of Things sensors will be not only calibrated for the amount of water required per person, whether it is being supplied or not. They will also test the quality of whether iron chlorination is done, whether iron contamination is done, and they'll be tracking it. It will be monitored at the state headquarter level. It is in the pipeline, and wherever we provide, it is presumed that we'll be providing 55 liters per water. Yes, but on the ground, I do agree, and not only specific to Assam, everywhere else, it may not be at all the places that this surplus or this amount of water is being given. But we are working on to ensure that this is at least there once this system is in place.
So please, because you have used so many sentences, I want single line answer. Till what time Assam will be able to supply as per Jal Jeevan Mission target?
See, there are two things. I can give a straight answer. Two things. To provide 100% coverage, we are 21.52%. And I can claim, in absence of any adverse report, I can claim that whatever percentage I am 21.52% I am providing is giving fully 55 liters in absence of any contrary report. And to cover all the remaining households to provide with 100%, I have a deadline by 2024, 31st March. We have to cover all the households in the state of Assam to provide 100% coverage.
Okay, in your presentation, I have observed that most of the work is being done by the government itself. Because I was saying that up to 10 lakh power is given to superintending engineer, and then full powers are given to chief engineers. This means so most of the work is being done departmentally by the government.
No, not exactly. It doesn't mean that things are being done only by the government. It means that a sanctioning power by the requisite authority level is being delegated. Earlier, it was being done at the state level. Now it has been delegated to the state level. So, but we are engaging contractors who are good qualified. Yeah.
Okay, I just wanted to try to understand what innovation you have inbuilt in your program which make you fit for Scotch Award? That I want to understand.
Okay. So, yes, it's a very good and also a very tricky question because I've seen others' presentation. They are so good, and I'm pitching you as I told. Ki I'm not standing at a position where I can say this is, hey, look here, this is a success. What I am pitching today is, look, this is a model we have created an atmosphere, and we have shown very promising results, and we are sure that we are going to get success after 2 years or 3 years. But this kind of momentum which we have generated is unprecedented, and this has been recognized by the ministry also. Having said this, the innovations, as I told, we have improved, we have incorporated the IT-based tools for monitoring. We call it SMT. And this tool has been widely appreciated by the ministry, and many states have inquired about it. That is number one. Number two, the provision of land for from the side of deputy commissioners, they can settle land in the name of the scheme to expedite, because availability of land is very crucial in groundwater schemes. Until unless you don't have a land to drill that hole, you cannot get water. So availability of land is so crucial that it was hindering our progress, and it was decided that Deputy Commission on its own can settle land in favor of this scheme, any government land, without referring it to the state government. This has been a very milestone achievement. Third thing is, we are planning to base this internet-based sensors, IoT sensors, for ensuring that quality supply and adequate supply is being actually provided, what is being against what is claimed. So these are the mainly three things as of now, which I'd like to share with you.
Thank you. Good efforts.
Thank you.
Really. Thank you.
Yeah, very nice.